welcome to Zentangle. I am going to teach you a lesson. I'm so excited to be here with you. My name is Emmy, and I am a Zentangle instructor, which is a CZT. And we're going to work on brain yoga, and I'm also excited that we're going to work on our word of the year. So, backing up just a little bit, Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas are the founders of Zentangle. It's been around for 20 years. So if you want to get your Zen on, which means relax, and if you want to tangle, which is put patterns together in a new way, this hobby or skill set is for you. And it is for all of us. If you can make my stick person, then you've got this. If you can make a slash, a dot, a C, an S, and an O. So our monotangle, our word of the year, is Fife. We're also going to do halaba, which is a technique. And to do halaba, we need to go behind something like what I've done here for you. Fife is simply a C, and then a C in the other direction. And then the halaba is to go behind. So we lift our pen and we imagine that it's back there and we come out the other side. And we can certainly add more to this tangle, and in many cases we will. And I will be excited to be your guide today. Last time we were together, we did this Fife pattern, and it was lots of fun, and it came out beautifully with the shading and the pillowing. Today we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to put a balloon in one corner. And as you can see, I put a contrast of the flower, and the dark color is a lot of drama. But instead of we're going to use the balloon, but in the place of the flower, we're going to put the word of the year that you have. And I'll show you a real simple technique of how to simply do a calligraphy design of your word. So let's get started with our pencil and our supplies. So let's talk about them just for a minute. You can use any paper or any supply that you happen to have on hand. And I'm a lucky girl. I happen to have a Zentangle tile, and it is 3.5 by 3.5. That said, you can use any size paper that you have and any kind of paper. I think you'll like it if you have a thicker paper like a cardstock or something. But again, whatever you have on hand, just let's get the ideas going and get you excited about this hobby. I am lucky again to have a Zentangle pencil, which is a very soft lead, but I'm just as comfortable with using this regular pencil that I have. And sometimes I use other kinds of pencils. I have a 01 micron pen, and any pen that you have will be fine. You're going to need a little thicker pen too if you happen to have one on hand. Grab that, put me on pause, and grab the thicker pen for yourself. And that's for fill, so that you can fill in some things easier. And the last thing that we're going to need is our tortillon or a Q-tip, or you can use your fingers. Many students in art classes all over use their finger to smear and smudge, and I will show you again how that works. So let's get started. Grab your handy pencil, and we always start with dots in the corner of our piece or our canvas, and then we connect them wonky style. Now this frame should be fairly light because in the end, the pencil can always be erased. There's no mistakes in Zentangle. And the pencil will just be absorbed into your design. So we're going to start by putting a balloon, and I'm going to use one of the 4 corners. You can use any one that you particularly like for your balloon. It's just like a balloon that you would see in a cartoon. And the next thing we're going to do is look at our 2 sides and eyeball where you think half is. Put a tick mark to aim for at one end, and I prefer to start at the top and go down, and here's where I have to do hollow ball. I have to lift my pencil and come out the other side. We're going to do that on this side and a tick mark below, and equally divide by eyeball the other side as well. A light pencil line, and you can see that mine have a bit of a wobble to it. It's not a problem. And then let's turn our tile so that our work is always in front of us. And let's find an eyeball where about half is, and a tick mark at the top to start with and one at the bottom to aim for. Lift your pencil, come out the other side as in an illusion that it is there. And then here we will divide this and a tick mark at the bottom, and we'll do the same over here. Divide and a tick mark there. Come down, lift your pencil and come out the other side. And let's do this one last time here. And for a little while, we're finished with our pencil, and let's switch over to pen. I'm going to use my thin pen this time, my 01. These supplies are all available just about anywhere, or like I've mentioned before, any supplies will be just fine. Just get some ideas down. So I'm going to start where I think it might be a little easier for you and I, and so I'm going to start on this far side and work my way to the left. And I'm going to start with that half a rice grain. One stroke at a time with Zentangle. There is no hurry, no rush. And if I do one stroke at a time, I have found I like the way my work comes out better. Nothing here except I can have the illusion of the whole thing going behind here. And here's my last one on this side. I always find it a little easier to do all of these, and then I'll come back here. And then I like to put a bit of a joiner black dot for the center of what's soon to become quite a pretty flower. Let's do another row. Work as quickly or as slowly as you would like. Never fear, these dots in the middle of our flower are going to get bigger as we turn our tile in just a moment. And while we're here, let's do this last one. And I can't do much there, so I know by the hollow ball technique that it's an illusion, and it will go underneath. I will pretend it's there, and that one kind of does. More of that anyway. All right, turning my tile, and let's start here and go right to left again as we did before. Another row. These black centers are getting bolder and becoming more center-like each time we touch it. One more. And this row, this is going to be that hollow ball thing again. It's easier for me to see how I could come back this way this time. But your work is in front of you, and you know what's easiest for you. Here's one, and a last one. And here we'll come again. Very nice already. So I would like to make diagonal lines as we did on our last video. So we're going in the other direction. And when we did the last one, we put a very simple pencil line to aim for. And again, it's just like everything else in Zentangle. You kind of have to do this one at a time. That's just a little guideline. And no, you don't have to do it. You can if you like, if that's comfortable to you. Let's start. I just prefer to start at the right, go to the left, and you should start where you like. And here's one. And this kind of is hollabah technique too. You have to have the technique of going underneath and digging in a little bit. If you kind of see what I'm doing here. Oh, that one's going to have to go underneath. Here's another one. And that's going to be darkened, so it'll blend right in. Zentangle is one stroke at a time. There are no mistakes. And your flowers and your word of the year is going to be such a treasure to someone, whoever, and yourself. I have mine on my refrigerator, and every year my daughters ask for one. Here's one that I missed. And then I'll be able to come out here. So at this point, I'm going to deviate and stop just for a minute, and I'm going to outline what I did here in pencil with my balloon. You see, I'm kind of taking small strokes. Don't have to work huge. And I prefer to write my word once or twice or even 3 times on the side so that I center this properly. The word I'm going to use today for my other daughter is posterity. And I'm going to put it in pencil first. And I like that pretty well. So I'm going to come back to my pen. Write the word. At this point, I'm going to add, as I'm working, a line into just one side. Look at how I'm doing that. Just one side, not both. This is kind of called faux calligraphy. Come down one side again. I have to do that hollabah in this one area. So you can use any print that you prefer. Can be complicated or simple, and you can darken those certainly, or leave them as they are, whatever is comfortable here. So now I've got my word on here, and I've got my flowers on here, and now the next thing I need to do is add the whiskers. So you can follow this in whatever technique you like. I'm going to put 3 whiskers, which helps me form my centerpiece of my flower. I'm not trying to be real precise, and I hope you can easily see that. I'm going to go through all of the flowers, and in case I miss some, I'll just come back and Keep my pen uncapped. There'll have to be a certain amount of turning going on here. This is a very quick thing to do. I try to look them over, make sure I've done every petal on the flower. Although I guarantee that it's easy to miss one or two. We'll just pick it up later if we do. Not a worry. You see how that kind of makes it a little bit darker? Here's another one. Trying to look over and make sure I haven't missed any. I think it's going to be just fine, even if I did. At this point, I'm going to cap this pen, although I might just leave it open because I'm going to, what I've missed, and you can likely see it, I just can't. I'm going to go to a thicker pen. I often use a Sharpie because that's a permanent ink and it's lightweight, and I'm going to go over this again. I want to really thicken this line so it really pops. There we go. I like how that looks. I'm going to come along here and darken all of the centers using that thicker pen. I don't have to push real hard with this pen or any pen. All I have to do is just work very lightly, let the pen do the work for me. If I push, I actually will get less ink and I won't really like the result. So kind of keep that in mind when you're working here. And on my sample, I showed you the centers, how pretty they are. And the last thing we're going to do before we're done with this gorgeous thing is to use our pencil, and we're not going to use it as a writing tool this time. We're going to use it as a shading tool, which means we work more on the side. I'm going to ask you to put some shading using that graphite. There's one right there. I think that I'll have enough graphite that I can cover over that one, and because Zentangle is all about the entire picture, not just one tile and not just one sample. There's another one. I find that Zentangle to be a very forgiving hobby, and in that way it's very enjoyable. When I teach students, we find that even though I have taught them all the same pattern, our work all looks quite a bit different. And so if you have time later on after you've finished, if you have time to send me a picture or post it on the YouTube channel, I would just love to see your work. I would really enjoy that. and see the word that you've chosen and how you designed your tile. Yep, I gotta fix this one. Excuse me. Another one. Okay, have to finish up with this. That one, other one fell. Don't really have time to fetch it right now. You're more important. Whoop, another one. Add this in. Just quickly add this shading to each of the whisker centers. And then use your blender stump or whatever you like to smooth your tortillon. Push so that you smudge and smear the graphite out, and trying very hard to leave the center, the cream color. So this is your third color, your gray. And if we leave the centers the white, we notice that it is going to be your ability to pillow top this. And it gives the illusion of standing up or rising above. So you can kind of see I'm moving quite quickly and just trying to diffuse that graphite the best I can. And again, turning, just push. Okay, we don't want graphite lines from the pencil if we can help it. So again, that's another reason for swooshing. I'll be showing more of that in future videos. Push. I think I missed this. Oh, it looks pretty good. And then I like to put under that word posterity. And I hope you like this video. I'm going to take the last second and put my initials somewhere in a not very obvious place. Turn it over. Sign this. Put the date. And this was Fife and Hollabaugh. No, you don't have to do this. I just like to because it helps me remember in the future what I've done. And I'd like to leave you with a short quote today. Make life out of what you have, not what you're missing. Good reminder to all of us. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to my channel if you like the videos, and please like me because that really helps me to keep going with this hobby that I'd so love to share with you. Night.